As expected and predicted, network television is running from the TakeAKnee, and showing the national anthem is a one-time thing. The horrifying specter of a player taking a knee during the national anthem and potentially alienating viewers is too much. ESPN, however, announced a plan to reverse its policy to not televise the anthem because of the Las Vegas shootings on Sunday evening over the weekend. I penned that the national negative reaction to TakeAKnee revealed America's racist underbelly. Some agree. Some do not. 1. I hope your latest article on this subject was your last forever on that subject. The day that article was published there were 4 pictures of Nick in the paper to include with your article too. That was 4 too many for me, and way overdone by all you writers trying to make a headline. I have been a fan of your articles, but please stay on other subjects that you are good at. In my view of things, the national anthem should never be used as part of a protest, period. I have not heard one reasonable excuse to justify it. Steve B. Still a fan for now too. Neither one of us will change the other's views, but in my opinion, the sports page is no place for you or others to promote your political views. I have scanned your articles more out of curiosity than interest, and you continually try to impart your liberal views onto whatever comes along. Jim R3. Thanks for Sunday's column. I tear up as others do when I watch the national anthem played or sung, especially sung. It's a reaction I've had all my adult life, and I'm 81. I don't believe today's intentional crisis, inspired by the president, is anything except a distraction he gave birth to, because he's a disturbed man and a manipulator. The president would not understand the subtleties of a protest over racial issues. He's insensitive, and distraction sells, and his base loves it. Mark Cuban has got it right too, regarding the subject. Civil discourse has been stimulated, and should be. If only the president were interested in civility, rather than headlines and turmoil. Linda 4. My admiration for athletes has always been pretty restrained. Actually, I've had a hard time taking any of them seriously and certainly never regarded any of them as heroes. That bunch always has a much higher proportion of no-goods and lowlifes than other numerically equal groups. Brian P. 5. I'm sad to hear you say there's no need for playing our national anthem. Like it or not, it's tradition with honor and respect, which our country is lacking these days. Where would you propose we hear at military funerals? Jimmy E6. Another point, please do not call me a bigot again. You lumped everybody who disagrees with your point of view as a bigot. I grew up in a racist community and family, and for all intents and purposes, was probably a racist of sorts. I hate like crazy to think of myself as a racist, because I have worked very diligently to change that. Perhaps instead of a racist, I was prejudiced, and there is a difference. Gerald S7. Very good column in Sunday's Saint. I hope your readers will pay attention. After watching Ken Burns' Vietnam documentary, it seems that Americans haven't changed very much. Mike P8. Mac, I've been reading your column for some time now, and I guess it's going to be very difficult to continue to do so after the political diatribe you vomited up today on a politically charged issue where no one wins, regardless of the eventual outcome. Here, all along, I thought you might actually have at least one fiber of conservative wisdom in your being. Well, that surely was disproved in my opinion, when I read your In My Opinion column today in this Sunday edition of the Star-Telegram. I think it was entitled, What the National Anthem Reaction Reveals About America Is Not Pretty. It was fairly obvious you were dancing around in territory. Larry W9. Big Mac. Enjoyed today's article. Provocative. On an indirectly related matter, I substitute teach in my semi-retirement. Every day we say the national and state pledges. To me, saying them once a week on Monday would suffice and have more meaning. Sid U10. Amen. One more point. Out of uniform, a millionaire black athlete is just another black male. If stopped by the police, he can have the same angst as any other black male. Paul K11. While I agree that racial discrimination still exists in this country, and in all countries, I think an honest person would rightly conclude that the United States is probably the most diverse, least racist country on the planet. Were it otherwise, we would not have just had a black president for 8 years, elected by white people, nor would we have black athletes making 7 figures to play with the ball. Perspective is a wonderful thing. John L. 12. You are such an idiot. And one of the main reasons I stopped subscribing after decades. Could you possibly get Jenner Galloway to come back to replace you, LFH?